Welcome back to the channel. My name is Stanislav. I'm a physical therapist and a judoka, and I've practiced the sport for 17 plus years. And today we are going to talk about low back pain after training in judokas. So the question is, why does back pain arises in judoka after training? This is a tricky question because there is a study that talks about all the factors that can concur about the developing of low back pain in general population. So we are not talking about athletes, we are talking about general population, and there are like 400 different factors that can concur into causing low back pain or increasing low back pain. So there are a lot of things that we must consider, but because it could depend by your age, but your level of activity, for how much you've practiced judo, for your previous past injuries. It could be caused by psychological factors, loading issues, your daily job, etc., etc. A lot of different things. But what's likely going to happen, what is likely the cause of your low back pain, is that you're overloading your spine more than its loading capacity. And when that happens, you perceive pain in your back. I'm going to tell you this concept. There is loading and there is loading capacity. Loading capacity is how much your tissues can tolerate, so training, lifting, daily job activities, and also there is the actual loading that you're giving to it. So training, your daily job, etc., etc. And when you're doing more than you can actually, when you're eating more than you can chew, okay, when you're loading your spine more than your spine can take, pain might arise. So what you need to do in order to fix that, what you can do to fix that is to load management, okay? So reduce the amount of stressors that can come to take your spine. So you can change your training variables, you can change techniques that you perform, you can change volume, intensity, or recovery in order to reduce your back pain. Volume, instead of training 1 hour and a half, train just 1 hour, or reduce the amount of hard sparring that you're doing. Reducing intensity, instead of going 100%, go 80% if you're training. Or if you're doing some lifting, instead of doing high percentages or your 1 rep max, perform just 70% or 65% in order to rebuild tolerance in your back and then slightly increase. You can also change recovery. You can change how much you place your training during the week. So maybe you could put 2 training sessions inside 1 day and left 1 complete day of recovery. This change a lot from person to person. So you might need to have a more personalized intervention. The second thing that you can do is, if on one side you can reduce the amount of stressors, the other thing that you can do is to increase your loading capacity. What do I mean by that? Intelligently loading your back, your spine, in order to increase the strength and resiliency of the tissues so that it can bear more load without exacerbating pain. And now you might say, but isn't that counterintuitive? If you have back pain for too much loading, for too much stressors, adding stressors isn't something that might be bad for my back. Not really, because there is a concept called supercompensation or general adaptation syndrome. What is general adaptation syndrome? Basically, when you give your body a stimulus, so you do heavy weights, you perform judo, or you do, let's say, a run, you feel bad in the acute. When you perform deadlifts, for example, you feel your low back sore. You feel more tired. When you're running, in the beginning, you feel like your legs are burning. You feel like you can't catch up your breath. But after this, a period of rest, a period of adaptation, your body becomes much more resilient. It has been shown that strength training, for example, increases the amount of bone density that there is inside of the target zone that you hidden. It increases the thickness and the strength of tendons and ligaments. It increases, of course, the size of muscles. So your tissues will become much more stronger. They will become much more resilient if you apply intelligent loading to it. So when your bones become stronger, when your ligaments and tendons become thicker, and when your muscles become more hypertrophic as well, they will be able to bear much more weight. Then you could say, but can't I just rest? That's not what the research says about low back pain. If rest is not recommended for low back pain, because yes, rest might reduce pain in the acute, but if you rest too much, let's say you pass 2 weeks without training, when you rest, also your tissues become deconditioned, because as you load your spine becomes more stronger and resilient. As you take out a load from your spine also becomes more fragile. Your spine becomes less conditioned, and their loading capacity gets lower. You won't be able to bear as much as you was doing before. So when you go back to training later, you will exceed the loading capacity of your spine again, and you will exacerbate pain. And this will be a vicious cycle that will lead you to basically stop training and stop performing your daily activities. So what is the answer to this problem? The answer to this problem is to intelligently load your spine and your tissues in order to improve them. And how can you do that? What you should aim to do is to train your spine through a full range of motion by flexing, extending, twisting, and laterally bend your spine. But giving you unpersonalized exercise won't just help you, okay? It will probably won't make you a favor, because in some cases of back pain, doing certain kind of exercises might get your symptoms worse. So depending on the pathologies, you might need to have a specialized intervention to it. And if you need more personalized advice for your judo, for your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, grappling in general, and or also lifting for your managing your low back pain, you can write me down a comment. You could send me an email or book a one-on-one free call with me, when I will listen to your problem and I will give you personalized advice in order to manage your low back pain better. So here's what I have to tell you. Hope that this video was useful, and remember to aim upward as always.